Recently I took a trip to see one of my favourite animals in the UK, and no matter how many times I see them, it will never fail to amaze me just how fast puffins are. And this, coupled with their small size, makes them one of the hardest birds to photograph in flight. So when I brought two beginners to the Isle of May, both of whom had never used a big camera before, I wasn't too sure how this would go.
I like how you're just no-scoping now. Just, if you got any of that, brilliant. Up high?
So in this video, I'm going to be walking them through the basics of wildlife photography, and we'll find out just how far a bit of guidance at a stunning location like this can take you.
Right. So we're out here on the Isle of May today, and because I got two special guests with me, I thought instead of me taking the photos, I would leave it up to these guys. You've never used this camera before?
I've never used a camera before. I only take pictures on my Samsung Galaxy.
What can go wrong? Here we go.
I don't even like holding it. I don't even know how you hold it.
Fortunately, there's over 100,000 birds on the island, so we started off with an easy target, which were these black-backed gulls.
Well, yeah, have a look through. You can either twist this or push and pull the end from there.
Push and pull.
This end piece, which is perfect. I would start really far zoomed out, and then yeah, once you know where it is, lock in and go in and sort of tighten up that sort of composition wise.
I still can't get anything in focus.
Okay, so, and then in terms of focus, I assume you're focusing holding this button halfway down?
No.
Right? No, so that's how you focus.
Oh yeah.
We are right in the basics then. This is going to be a long day. Camera's on, right? It's all on.
Camera's
working.
on.
Yeah, right, okay.
Oh yes, yes. I just took some pictures.
You've just taken some pictures.
Yes, I've got a baby girl and a mummy girl, maybe.
It is tricky, to be fair, with this because you've got rocks in the way at the moment.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a tricky one to go for. What I would shoot here is I would shoot this oyster catcher, first of all.
Yes.
Because it's easy. Where
Yeah.
it is.
Oh yeah. Hey, mate.
So where have you currently got that in the frame?
In the middle.
Right in the middle.
Well,
So,
at times it's in the middle.
okay, yeah, perfect. So, as you look through, you'll see there's a 3x3 grid.
Okay.
As you look through the viewfinder.
Yeah.
And what I would do, because it's facing to the left, is I'd put it on one of the grid lines on the right, so it's looking into the frame.
I
is what I would do.
see.
Yeah,
Yay!
yeah, right?
Some of them are nice. That's quite a good one.
That looks sick. That looks sick.
Look at that.
Oh, that's wicked.
That's good. Right.
That is good.
Oyster catcher's done. Oyster catcher's done. Let's carry on wandering, and we'll get John involved as well. So again, John's first time ever with a camera, right?
Now once I'd got John up to speed with the general handlings of the camera, we spoke about other ways to get even better portraits.
So by getting to like eye level, A, it blows out the background because the background is further away than before. But B, it's then, you're not as like an intimidating sort of viewer.
Yeah.
That looks like, and then yeah, compare like how the background looks, that looks lovely. Look how the background looks compared to like top down. I don't know where you were.
I just took a picture of you and your camera.
Yeah, that is actually sick, to be fair. So what this is like, we're looking for like repeatable behaviour, right? So he's going to the same spot every time. So I've left my camera down there, just filming away, knowing that it's going to come to the same spot, walk through the frame, and I'm just going to get that shot, and I'm nowhere near the bird. So as I tried to approach it earlier, it flew away. Whereas here, I'm nowhere near the camera. It doesn't really care what the camera's doing. It will do that behaviour time and time again, and I'll get the shot, but the bird won't care, which is wicked.
That's really interesting. That's such a good way to do it without disturbing the animal.
100%, 100%. So this is a razor bill down here. What you can do as well, if you come down really low and come between these rocks and just frame yourself down low. Perfect. Now look.
Great.
Good stuff.
Now by this point it was clear to see that both of them were getting more comfortable with the camera, and they'd even started to show me things that I hadn't spotted.
So there's the two bullet bills.
Yep.
And then one up, there's a singular seagull on its own. And then one up, there's another singular seagull. That's the mum, and it's currently feeding its babies.
Oh yeah.
It's literally feeding its babies right now.
Oh, sleeping. It's on now.
Yeah, right now.
But now it was time for the hardest challenge of the day, photographing birds in flight. So we headed to the other side of the island, and nothing could have prepared us for the incredible views that were there. Trying to capture all this in such strong winds can be difficult for any photographer, but for someone who's only had an hour to learn how to use the camera posed an absolutely mammoth task. And I think it's fair to say that all of us found it quite overwhelming at times.
This one. Please say you got that. That sounded like a shot. I like how you're just no-scoping now. Just, if you got any of that, brilliant. Up high. This one's got fish in his mouth. Okay, it's brutal, isn't it? Yeah. It's like teaching a kid to drive. This one up here.
But by working through the techniques we'd spoken about during the day, both Ellie and John really started to get it.
Rich, is there a process of being able to take, because as soon as I see it, I put the camera to my eyes and then the bird's gone.
So again, look for like the repeatable behaviours. So for me, from here, what I'm looking at is they're coming slow, left to right, so don't shoot them right to left. These lot are rapid, right? You've got no chance. So we're looking left to right, so always looking out this way. And like, I can call them out for you as well if you want, if you're struggling, because there's two of us, but yeah, one up high.
Yes, that is a puffin and it's flying.
And with each passing bird, they began to push their skills more and more. And given the amount of time that they had, I think they both did incredibly well. And if you found this video useful, then please let us know down in the comments down below and let us know where we should go for a part 2. Finally, thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you at the next one.